Good morning and welcome to Tobago Updates. This is Youth Wednesday and it is Wednesday the 25th of February 2026. You are viewing us live from downtown Scarborough, Tobago, the Port Mall. And we want to say thank you for always joining us right here, whether you are viewing on Flow, whether you're viewing on AMPLIA or on Digicel. You may even be tuned in on YouTube or Facebook. We want to say welcome. Now, this morning we have a packed show for you, and so you really don't want to go anywhere else but Tobago Updates. A lot has been going on in the space. We are experiencing some cargo ferry wars. However, you know, this is an exciting part for me. West Indies are doing their thing in the World T20 World Cup. Let me tell you something. Coming off of a crushing defeat of Zimbabwe, we are pushing through the Super 8 and we will be rallying tomorrow morning because West Indies would be facing one of their greatest challenges yet, the undefeated South Africans, and that would be a match of the century. Yes, I would be up bright and early to take a look at that. However, before we go any further, I want to bring you up to date with our news in 90 seconds. So, here's what's making your news in 90 seconds for Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio will co-chair a high-level session with CARICOM Chairman Dr. Terence Drew today. It will be the 50th CARICOM regular heads of government meeting in Basseterre, St. Kitts. The State Department says the visit aims to strengthen regional security and energy ties. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, who led a delegation which included Foreign Minister Sean Sobers and for the first time Tobago House of Assembly Chief Secretary Farley Augustine, has already secured a private bilateral meeting with Secretary Rubio to discuss security cooperation and the Dragon gas deal. A Trinidad and Tobago national has been sentenced to federal prison in the United States for smuggling over 200 firearms and components from Florida to Trinidad and Tobago. Shem Wayne Alexander, 36, of Port of Spain, was handed a 4-year, 9-month sentence by U.S. District Judge John L. Badalamenti in the Middle District of Florida. The investigation involved multiple U.S. Caribbean agencies and the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service with support from international offices. Finally, is Tobago prepared for a catastrophic disruption in its food supply chain? Currently, the island imports over 80% of its food. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine says a study launched last year nearing its conclusion will determine if Tobago can survive 3 months without a single vessel arrival. An overhaul of the island's industrial framework is also needed, targeting years of stagnation at the Cove Eco-Industrial Park. That was your news in 90 seconds. Tune in again at 6:30 p.m. for a full newscast. So viewers, we have a lot to unpack from this 90 seconds of news. However, stay tuned. When we get back, we'll discuss all things that we would have raised in the 90 seconds news. But in the meantime, I encourage you to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to all our viewers. And right now it is time to celebrate. And we enjoy celebrating with you. So, but alongside me, I must say, is the gorgeous, I can't say gorgeous, I have to call her handsome. I have to call her.
You could say anything.
I could say anything, but gorgeous wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So alongside me is the handsome Mr. Dwayne Nurse. You know, he does always big way up when we are alongside him. So I'm trying to do the same now, but I mash it up with gorgeous.
Yeah.
However, good morning to you.
Morning, everybody. Morning to our ardent viewers, wherever you bring us in, whether it be on YouTube, Facebook, on whatever device, wherever in the world you are. Good morning. We have just come off the cusp of what it seems to be a very exciting carnival, but we did not celebrate carnival, did we?
Well, I went to camp, but
too.
Nevertheless, I would have saw that it was a very exciting season and record-breaking. What's that?
I heard earlier no water, the NBA.
Dwayne, that was last week's show. You are weighing in the balance, you know. But before you try to make me out,
yes,
let us do some birthday celebrations,
yes.
And then I'll come back to you because I have a job for you too. So don't feel like throwing. My camp didn't have water.
I guess we're still in the carnival spirit, job. But first on our list for birthday celebrants this morning, well, today is not her birthday. Actually, it's actually tomorrow. I took the liberty of calling the big head girl. I could call her because she's my friend. But tomorrow is her birthday. But happy birthday in advance. We wouldn't be here tomorrow. On the show tomorrow. So for the sake of Youth Wednesdays, we want to big up Franca Corner. Happy birthday in advance goes out to you. But still drop by and give us the cake and the ice cream, please, and thanks.
All right, and Mr. Handel Manswell, we want to say happy birthday, Handel. Hope that you have a wonderful day today. Yeah, you are bringing down the month with the celebrations. February almost comes to a close, but you are celebrating today, and we want you to have a wonderful day.
Oh yes, oh yes. And last but certainly not least, we have Miss Elizabeth Roach. A happy birthday goes out to you. Very elegantly dressed, very beautiful. I hope that you enjoy your day. And for those of you who unfortunately did not make it on our birthday list this morning, we still want to wish you a happy birthday. This is what they call the Pisces season.
Yes.
We are on the cusp of March, which is the best month of the year. And
July is here so early.
Do you know that on the Jewish calendar, the March is known as the first month of Abib? Do you know that?
I know that, but we don't use the Jewish calendar yet.
Well, that is why we are in the mess that we're in. We're deviating from God's plan.
Sure, of course.
But that is all for our birthday this morning, our birthday celebrants this morning. Again, happy birthday goes out to all of you, and please feel free to come and celebrate with us here on Youth Wednesdays. But we have a lot in store for them. Right, we have a lot in store for them as per usual. First, for the rundown this morning, coming to discuss with us about the cargo chaos, the Tobago Lifeline stalls, is Mr. Dave Roberts, owner of Dave and Daughters Hardware, and he hails all the way from Speyside. He is a business owner up there, a hardware owner that coming to discuss with us some of the woes and the challenges that they face as business owners on the island as it pertains to this vessel. And what do we have next?
And we also have Dr. Chantel Winchester, and she would be here dealing specifically with women health. Yeah, and that is an important topic.
Yes.
Should be speaking about abnormal uterine bleeding.
Oh.
Yeah, and it is something
sounds
that
like endometriosis. Anyway, we will talk with the doctor about that.
We talk to the doctor.
But do you know that this lady was my math teacher in second form?
Really?
Yeah.
Dr. Winchester?
Yes.
She actually taught me chemistry.
Papayo.
What can she not teach? That is a greater question.
And we have...
She's such a brilliant mind, though.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of persons like that in the Tobago space.
Yes, certainly.
Very brilliant.
Yes, like yourself, like your good self.
Thank you, Dwayne. But we have the cargo issue. I am looking forward to speaking with Mr. Dave concerning the issue. But I would have highlighted in the news what Chief Secretary would have said, that they want to really do a study to see how Tobago would survive over a 3-month period with no vessel coming. A study. And it brings me to the point of food security on the island. Yeah, it is such a serious issue. And today is Youth Wednesday, and I find it important to encourage young people to get involved in farming. Our agriculture industry is an aging one. Right? We have a lot of old farmers, and it is important that the young people get involved in producing your own food. It is important for us as an island to survive. And apart from that, it is healthier.
Yes, and you're right. And this debacle, as it pertains to the vessel being down and the challenges that it faced affecting Tobago, provides in itself some opportunities. It highlighted where we are short and where we are at a disadvantage, but it also provides opportunities, right? And not just in the area of food, but we're talking about things like raw materials, medicine, right? Where does Tobago sit in having a port specific to Tobago's needs, where a lot of these things come directly to the island as it pertains, versus having persons going down and shopping and bringing back this stuff to Tobago, right? These are some of the things and the discussions that we should be having in 2026, right? I think we rely too heavily on Trinidad, who also relies very much a lot on global imports.
Yeah.
So
you know, every time you look at the budget, and for those of us who enjoy a good read and these kind of things, we like to stay up to date on current affairs and stuff like that. Our import bill is ridiculous.
It's too high.
And every budget, you know, they try to say, okay, well, we need to drive that bill down. We need to drive that bill down. And for us in Tobago, it is very concerning. And we as youths, we must sound the alarm that it is concerning that if the boat don't sail, we in problems. If the boat don't sail, when it comes to certain things, we don't eat.
Correct.
We don't eat certain things if the boat don't sail. And we need to do better. And we're encouraging you right here from the Tobago Update Studio, from Youth Wednesday. We are encouraging you to think big. Think big, as Tobagonians, because it is dependent on us, to make the change.
And finally, I just want to say that these discussions will always be happening if we don't have fiscal policy to reflect those changes, right? Fiscal policy is what dictates all of this. And yes, we have globalization and so on affecting what we do and what we import, right? But we need to transcend the boundaries of economies of scale and all these kind of things, right? But discussions to have.
But I don't want us to move on just yet until we touch on what is happening in the Caribbean space, right? The CARICOM heads. It is the 50th session, right? And I mean, 50 years is a long time, right? And, you know, we have had...
It is not quite a long time. It just goes to show that we are still quite young.
True.
Quite
true.
Young.
When you think of nations that celebrating...
over 100 years. Over 100 years. Some 1,000.
When you put it into perspective like that, Dwayne, we are quite young. However, we must talk about, there's always a little back and forth sometimes when it comes to Trinidad and Tobago and our CARICOM nations. A girlfriend of mine went to Creole Festival in Dominica, and she said during the performance, that was during the time of where there were wars and rumors of wars, you know, and my girlfriend in her fete and chop she Trini flag, and persons in Dominica come and, hey, we don't know war in the Caribbean, and I hope all the Trini know. I hope all the Trinis know that. She said, listen, she said, girl, I was so ashamed. I talk with my flag and relax to the rest of the night. But you know, there's always and sometimes persons in the Caribbean, they really take notes of the news that is happening in the region. Sometimes we don't be with a little bubble. You know what? There's always a back and forth, and our Prime Minister
went with guns blazing.
Man, she gave a fiery address. Hey, whether I like it or not, she said what she said.
Yes, no, I appreciated the sentiment behind what she said. Where I found the issue is the delivery. Just the delivery. And hear me out.
What about the delivery? Yeah, I hear you out.
I think there could have been a lot more tact in her delivery. I always admire people like Mia Motley and I admire people like this Martin Luther King.
But when
I know. I hear me out. Just
all right,
hear me out.
okay, I'm not cutting you off. I'm hearing you out.
I love the Prime Minister. I think she's a woman at heart. She's a mother at heart. But I just think if you listen to the tone of the message, not just its sentiment and its content, but it comes across as if you come to shoot. But
we always, but I mean, our Prime Minister did say load up the Matic at a point on a platform, So I mean,
what are your thoughts?
Shots fired. However, you know, I always think that we like to put.
We like to put a leader.
We like to put female leaders, and I'm not making any apology for that. The viewers might say, oh gosh, oh god, this kind of feminism thing.
Go ahead.
But I'm not making any apologies for that. But I think that we like to place our female leaders into a box when it comes to delivery. You know, if someone else had delivered a speech.
I would personally would have been of a similar view, because I
but me and Motley does shoot that. Me and Motley went to the United Nations. And listen, it was straight fire.
Yeah.
When she stood up and spoke about what is going on and with Palestine, and me and Motley was straight fire.
Right.
You know, and so is it that we put our prime minister because in a box because we view her as a motherly, with some of us, right, may view her as a motherly figure, and we see a mother as someone compassionate and soft-spoken, and no, but their mothers are fierce and protective.
I'm not saying no, but if you look at Mia Motley's delivery,
nobody ain't rough like Mia.
No.
Mia,
I know she's
Mia tone and all rough.
Yes, she's her tone.
Mia does rumbles with.
Hold on. But delivery is what, and I want to talk about a word, finesse, right? The finesse of it. She could go and stand up. You know, Mia and Mrs. Prasad Bissessa, Honorable, are two different persons.
Right.
By nature, the Prime Minister is a very docile, but she can code switch, like, you know.
Yeah, I find she threw off that docile coat with this last term, boy.
But I'm just saying, in this particular instance, for the spirit of what they went to celebrate, the delivery could have just been a little bit more finessed. That is it. I agree with everything that she said. Everything.
We agree to disagree this morning, viewers.
But anyway,
yeah.
Good to see that the Honorable Chief Secretary was invited. I long for the day that he has his rightful seat. Not just his, but the office has its rightful place at CARICOM, because it is Trinidad and Tobago, and we are not one without the other.
Right.
Now, I look forward for that.
So that was something momentous. Yeah. We have Chief Secretary heading to CARICOM, and he's spliffy in his suit.
And sit down talking with Mia and the Prime Minister.
This step out, the steam on the pan, sharp. Cut here if you pass too close. But that's something good, and we are grateful when we can witness these kind of things in our lifetime. These are things that people like A&R, are reading the book, are almost finished in the midst of it all. But these are things that
when you finish, you must lend me a copy.
I'll hand it over to you.
Yes, my darling.
Yeah, and so these are things that APT and A&R, these persons would have fought tirelessly for. Murray, all these people. So it is a pivotal moment, and it is not one that we can downplay. So yes, we're having
quite a banter. Yes, healthy banter.
Yes,
but we want to go straight over. We want to take a quick break. We're going to be right back. But we had to tell them to do one thing, Tanisha, which is what?
Share the live. Share the live. Share the live.
TL Promotion presents Laugh and Live this Good Friday, 7 p.m. It's non-stop laughter at Birchwood Legacy Park, Lowland. Special guest from Jamaica, Mr. Funny himself, Owen Blacker Ellis. From Trinidad, Rising Comics, Alan the Entertainer, and Son. And from Tobago, Amateur Comic, Bishop Terence Baines. Listen, this is a laughing matter. Get your tickets now at Den's Electronics, 2nd floor, Port Mall, Scarborough. An Island e-tickets, or call 685-1988. At the door, you will pay more. It's gonna be a family affair. Laughter is good for the soul, whether you're young or you're old. So get your tickets now. You can't afford to miss it. Add some laughter to your Easter.
Coming up, fetes, pan, parades, soca. Yes, Carnival is in full swing. Artists from all over added their strokes to Antigua and Barbuda's canvas. A boost for these Barbadian projects through the power to make a difference. Equal servings of culture and good cheer. It's Caribbean Passport TV right here on this station.
Who said the elderly can't have fun too?
We talking good food, proper music, lots of games, and a day at the beach they will never forget. From the time we left the compound at Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly, the vibe was already established. Wheels up and seatbelts on. Watch now, when we touched down in Pigeon Point, everybody was ready for excitement. But before anything could take place, we had to secure our bellies. You ever play bingo by the beachside? Well, that was the first activity on the roster, and boy did these seniors have fun. However, others wanted something more physical. We brought out the ring toss, and not even arthritis could have stopped them. Well, I was blown away at how straight these people were. Are you sure this is a home for the elderly? Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday, but nothing beats the song of Good Steel Pan by the shores while we take a dip in Tobago's finest water. Wait, more food again? This is my type of event. The energy was amazing and nothing short of a blessing. Pick up Heavenly Care Home for the elderly, because joy doesn't retire, laughter doesn't age, and memories like these last forever.
To a stranger. How it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. Live more.
It's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there, down in Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to our viewers, and as promised, we will be speaking with Mr. Dave Roberts. He is the owner of Dave and Daughters Hardware, located in Speyside, Tobago. That is the eastern end of the island. And with the ongoing issues surrounding the new cargo vessel, the Blue Wave Harmony, we'll be speaking with him about how this would have affected him. And so at this time, we want to invite Mr. Roberts. We want to say good morning to you.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Roberts. How are you?
Better fine.
Yeah, man. Long time no see, my brother.
Yeah, I'm alright.
Well, we kind of not seeing the face, but I don't know if it's by intention. Ah, yes, man. Yes, man.
Much better.
Yeah. So, welcome to Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. For those of you just joining us, we are live here in Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago. All right, Mr. Dave, just tell us about yourself. How long you've been in this business of operating your hardware? Yeah.
Well, the hardware, I've been in the hardware for 14 years. In that 14 years, we have the challenges of being this far. So transportation always a problem. reliable resources. Sales rep might find it a little too far. So sometimes we have to come town to meet some of them. But we really need to.
Okay. You would have said that suppliers sometimes find things too far and stuff like that, but we know a lot of the hardware, a lot of businesses, not just hardwares, but a lot of businesses depend on the movement of goods between the two islands, namely the cargo boat service. And so, how dependent are you on this service?
Well, we are 100% dependent on it. 90% of the goods comes from Trinidad.
And do you think that, yes, we understand that businesses on the island, yours, groceries, pharmacies, almost everybody is affected by, this debacle that has been, that occurred some weeks ago. Does this present any opportunity? And what are the hardware owners like yourself saying as it pertains to the opportunities it presents, namely having a designated port where a cargo shipment port where goods, these raw materials, these goods can come straight to Tobago without having to dock in Trinidad? Do you agree that?
Well, it will be.
Yeah.
It will be nice. They tried it. They were. I get to understand that some years ago it was brought up, but I mean, keep changing governments and nothing being in place. We have no place to dock such a heavy cargo vessel, and we really need that for Tobago.
But Mr. Roberts, when we talk about so we know a lot have been happening in terms of the delay and goods coming over. What I wanted to find out is how are things, how are stocks, how are inventory at the hardware now? What, the hardware shelf empty? If you go, you can't get no nail. If you need
cement.
Yeah, what is going on? Tell us what is happening in terms of your inventory at the hardware in Speyside.
Well, for the inside items, we had stocked up a lot on those. So I still have, knowing how this side is a little slow, but we still have for the inside. But the outside items, it's giving us more problems to stock. It comes like the boat comes to Tobago every other day. So with that, you have to provide more vehicle. It costs you more to get the material on time to provide for the customers.
But you would have said that it is costing more. Now, how have this impacted your pricing? Do you have to carry up your price? Because now we're talking about increase in outputs in terms of financial output. So prices, how prices looking up the road?
Prices might go up by $5 for the most on certain items because it's a little difficult to have, especially like cement. Cement has raised, so it gone up. But for red blocks has went up from today. It's from this morning, red blocks has been raised. But so far, I mean, the price it's workable, but it's up there.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, I mean, we've been saying that we've been trying to hint that your business is in the most rural part of the island, which hails all the way from Speyside. You are not the only hardware in the rural in countryside Tobago. How were you and probably your counterpart able to make sure that your prices, and we're talking about prices now as it pertains to your goods and your services, how have you been able to ensure that it remains, market friendly for those on that who reside up on that side. What are some of the possibility you could talk about some of the challenges that you face as it pertains to how you ensure that you keep your prices at bay?
Well, you look for the most affordable items to buy. Some is when coming to transportation. Transportation is the most expensive factor into getting stuff up to the site. Reliable workers and people. With that, sometimes you have to bite some of the expense, to tell you the truth. Sometimes you as the owner have to bite some of the expense in order to get their customers them keep buying from you, because you know how people is, they'll be like, I could get cheaper in town, and I mean town some of them just charge a price to come up this far. But with us, we try to do free delivery and to keep customers and keep the business going, I should say.
Right.
You know, I wanted to find out, you spoke about staffing and stuff like that. I want to find out, it might not be now, but if this continues where you have to be putting out more money to get goods and stuff like that, your staff, would you see you having to reduce staff in terms of number of staff or amount that you pay into staff and things like that? Would this affect that?
Well, I have reduced staff. Most of the work I myself have to jump out back and do it. I have done that already. So most of the work I have to be doing, and I like to be on the ground to know exactly what's going on and to have a first feel of it. So there is no excuse from a staff. There is no falsifying anything. So if you're on the port, everybody knows me because I am there to take off trucks, put on trucks. I'm there like a normal worker. I start driving. I am a driver at the end of the day, beside an owner. So everybody knows me from on the ground.
Right. My question to you is, what do you see is the overarching solution to this? Because just as much as you're trying to bite some of the costs, you also provide an essential service for persons who don't want to journey all the way to town just to go and get stuff, and it kind of saves the lopsidedness of the service being at Scarborough, coming all the way up to the most rural part of Tobago, right? What do you see is the long-term solution? And that is one part of my question. And two, do you think that the Chief Secretary's intervention in terms of the potential of providing, compensation in some form, would that be of any assistance to you and your business?
Compensation will be nice, but I mean, they don't have to, but it will be nice to have some compensation to lessen some of the costs. But in terms of the first question, as in
long-term solution.
Long-term solution. The long-term solution we have is in we do CODs, a lot of CODs. So you don't necessarily have to catch transport to come to the hardware. We started it just before the COVID, so a lot of people capitalize on that, especially for the elderly, those who cannot move about much. We do CODs. We get to they call, they order the stuff, we deliver, and we do online banking. We try all necessary to cut costs for the customers, and we try.
Right.
I get to see.
All right. So, and just for the benefit of the viewers, CODs is call on delivery.
Cash on delivery.
Cash on delivery. Okay, understood.
So you don't have to come to the hardware. Just call, place your order, the address, the name, and we are within a day or two, you get a delivery.
All right, that is an effective way of doing business. What about transitioning to online?
We have online.
Okay.
But I want to find out, have there been adequate communication with persons like yourself, with the business owners? Has there been adequate communication to say, okay, well, the service have been cancelled, we're rescheduling? How have that been?
What services being canceled?
In terms of the cargo boat, as in, okay, well, it wouldn't be sailing today. Has there been effective communication to the business owner?
No. Most times I get it through being there or the drivers in Trinidad. But terms like these, no, not to the business owner.
Okay, and as we seek to wrap things up, I would like to know, stress. You're a business owner. You're trying to keep things going. How stressful has this period been for you as a business owner?
As a business owner, it is very stressful. The hours for, well, we are accustomed to in Tobago. We are accustomed going in the night. You collect your goods. You bring it. Well, for my distance, I will come up offload in the morning or the same night and prepare to go down the next day. But with how it is running now, it is during the day. Scarborough is a busy area, especially in the morning time with the school, people now going to work, and we offload. At least it is giving us time to come up. I get to offload and back down on the port before it is 2 o'clock to put my truck back onto the boat to go back down. So it takes us a day off. It takes us a day off. A driver is there to make sure sometimes it is on. And when it gets to Trinidad, it meets in the night. We have a driver take it off. And in the morning, during the day, you get to load and back onto the boat again. The boat leave in the night to come back up. So the time is a little off, but we have no other option. We have to work with it.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts, for joining us this morning and sharing some of your woes as a business owner, and not just a business owner, but a business owner in the most rural part of Tobago, who would definitely be more affected than those living on the urban side of Tobago, providing a service and trying to keep your business afloat. Thank you for joining us again. And guys, this brings us to the end of this interview this morning. We want to ask you to, before we come back again, because we have more for you, we want to ask you to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and the service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships. It's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
you. Come in. Long time I see you. This station complete. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Steven to see about them. Yes, total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about that. You just leave Jada to see about Kia and Kayla. I thought it's your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before you ramage, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Promotion presents Laugh and Live this Good Friday, 7 p.m. It's non-stop laughter at Bertrude Legacy Park, Lowland. Special guest from Jamaica, Mr. Funny himself, Owen Blacker Ellis. From Trinidad, Rising Comics, Alan the Entertainer, and Son. And from Tobago, amateur comic, Bishop Terence Baines. Listen, this is a laughing matter. Get your tickets now at Den's Electronics, 2nd floor, Port Mall, Scarborough. An Island e-tickets or call 685-1988. At the door, you will pay more. It's gonna be a family affair. Laughter is good for the soul, whether you're young or you're old. So get your tickets now. You can't afford to miss it. Add some laughter to your Easter.
Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash in transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. You're bringing us here live in Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago. This morning we want to take the discussion down a notch or up a notch, as the case may be, to discuss about women's health. And who better than to bring on to have this discussion this morning other than Dr. Chantel Winchester. Good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning.
Might I say good morning, miss?
Good morning.
And yes, as I said before, she was my math teacher, one of the coolest teachers in her day, right? She just left without a trace, just like the avatar. But we don't hold it against her. Good morning. So we're here to discuss women's health, and we saw you brought a really lovely pink stuffed toy with us. I want to take it home with me. But just tell us about it and why you're here this morning.
Okay, so good morning. I'm here to speak about abnormal uterine bleeding or abnormal menstrual cycles, abnormal periods. But before we start, we will have a quick anatomy lesson. And I'm going to go through the anatomy of the female reproductive system.
What is this stuffed toy's name?
Its nickname is UT.
UT.
So the uterus. Right? So each woman, they would have 2 ovaries. 1, 2. These are the fallopian tubes connecting to the ovaries, and this is the uterus. And I must say, the end of the womb, or the below the womb, is the cervix. So this is the cervix here where we do the pap smears. Right. So each month, the brain and the ovaries communicate. They communicate using hormones. So the brain will tell the ovary to release an egg. The egg is being released just in case a sperm meets the egg to form a baby. In the meantime, the uterus is preparing a home or a nice fluffy bed for this baby to embed itself. And that is by the uterine lining, right? The uterine lining is filled with blood and it gets nice and mushy all throughout the month. However, if the sperm doesn't meet the egg for a pregnancy to occur, the lining of the uterus will shed, and that is how we have a period. Yeah?
Oh, okay. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. So, essentially, we are talking about the menstrual cycle.
Yes.
Right? For those biology students, you should tune in. Right? This seems to be a topic that men don't really understand, and I'm here to learn this morning.
Okay.
So I'm going to hand it over to my ably co-host to ask all the pertinent questions. I'll come in after, if you don't mind.
That's right.
You know, I wanted to find out, well, I want you to tell the viewers and Dwayne, because we're educating him this morning as well. Share with us at what age do most girls start seeing their period? Yeah, if you could tell us about that, and then we can really touch on what is normal and what is abnormal.
Right. So ideally, a girl should start seeing her period around 9 years of age.
Really? So
Yes.
early? Okay.
Yeah. So around 9, sometimes later, but around 9 they would have developmental of the secondary characteristics like the breast and stuff like that.
Right.
But they could see it as early as 9. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And Doc, what is normal and what is abnormal? You know, sometimes growing up in Tobago, you say, all right, well, the period has come and it's pain. Once you start to feel the pain, you know that the period coming. Ready yourself for this pain, for this type of pain, excruciating pain, sometimes like that. Yeah, so is that normal? That's how it's supposed to be?
Okay. So abnormal uterine bleeding is any bleeding from the womb that differs from your normal menstrual cycle, and it can differ in frequency, duration, and even amount. Right? A normal period should last between 3 to 7 days. The cycle should be at least 21 to 35 days, and you should have a moderate flow. So you asked, what is abnormal? So if you're soaking up pads every hour, at least for 2 hours or more, then that is abnormal. If you're changing your tampons every hour, at least for 2 hours or more, then that is abnormal. And if you're using the menstrual cup, but you have to empty your cup every hour for 2 hours or more, it is abnormal. If you are passing clots, heavy, big clots, that is abnormal. Painful periods, or any symptom that affects your quality of life, you have to stay home from work, you cannot do your usual activities, then those are abnormal symptoms.
So, question from a male perspective. Are you saying that periods in and of themselves ought not to be painful, or periods are painful, but when it's exceedingly painful, it's cause for concern?
No, your period should not be painful, and if you are experiencing any of these symptoms, then you need to have it checked out, because there are various causes of these abnormalities that we just discussed. In our society, fibroids are very common for the heavy bleeding and even painful periods, so you have to have that checked out. The bleeding, more importantly, I don't want this point to go, it can cause low blood or anemia. Right, and that is something that definitely needs to check out, because anemia can affect your quality of life, fatigue, headaches, palpitations, and long-term cardiac issues, because the heart pumping with this low blood over a period of time. So you want to ensure that you check out for low blood. And additionally, sometimes when you are bleeding abnormally, there may be abnormal cells in the lining of the womb that can turn to cancer. So you want to ensure that you have this abnormality, whatever it is, checked out.
But Doc, you said check out. Where you going and
so
check
you go you go to see your doctor. So the doctor, whoever you're comfortable with, you go to see the doctor. So in our setting, you have the public healthcare, local health center. So depending on where you live, you can just go to the local health center and let them know, hey, I've been having frequent periods, it's concerning for me, you know the symptoms, and you let them know, or you can go privately.
And what kind of treatments are available? And I'm thinking that it wouldn't be a one-size-fits-all. But what are some of the treatments? Because some persons might say, hey, I don't want to go for the take out my womb, and I ain't get no trend, and you know, so kind of alleviate some of that fear, you know, with our viewers.
Right. So because we spoke about some of the causes, right, you need to find out what the cause is really. So like I said, fibroids can cause it. Some women may have what is called polyps, which is small growths in the lining of the womb. Hormonal things can cause it as well. We spoke about cancer, so cancer can cause it as well. Some people may have bleeding disorders as well. Yeah, those are some of the causes, the common causes in our setting. So it really depends on what is causing it. Then the treatment will tailor to that, right? But in generally, you can have medications, which is pills that you can use. There are hormonal options as well that you can use, because of course, like I said, is the brain communicating to the ovaries with the period, so telling it to make the eggs, or which would increase the lining of the womb and all these things. It's a hormonal problem, right? So you can use hormonal medication as well. And then if these don't work, then we could go to surgery. As you said, that people
worst case scenario.
Yeah, worst case scenario, but it really depends on the cause, because surgical treatment would be for the cancers or fibroids. Yeah.
My question to you is, there are a lot of hormonal pills, you know, that women take from time to time, you know, for various reasons. And by that virtue of that, it can affect their hormonal imbalance, which also can affect periods. For instance, things like birth control and so on, namely, can affect your hormonal, can affect hormonal imbalance, which can affect, correct me if I'm wrong, affect periods. Where, in an instance where there is a irregular period due to hormonal imbalance, what interventions are there for a young lady who might be worried, probably taking for the first time in her life, she took birth control, and you know, she finds she period, and then she came out and she finds she period not coming, month, 2 months, and she's worried. What interventions are there for them?
Well, first of all, you said correct you if you're wrong, so I'm sorry to say that you are wrong.
Right.
Yeah, contraception or birth control, it's a really effective treatment for heavy bleeding and for irregular periods. It works really well. I always say you have to find out what works for you, but it is a really good option for hormonal imbalance, actually, right? You also asked about what's the other question?
I think it's about if there's a prolonged period where she does not see her period.
Right, the treatment for that. So in everything that I'm speaking about here, and I'm certain that you know about already, lifestyle changes. So for the hormonal imbalance, lifestyle changes works top notch. No medication the doctor could give you or any other treatment will work better than lifestyle changes. And lifestyle changes include dietary changes, eating green leafy vegetables, drinking your water, having your fruits, high protein diet and stuff like that will help.
What about
exercising? Yes. So stress also affects your hormonal imbalance and it affects your cycle, because some women may bleed heavily because they're under a lot of stress, and some may not see their periods at all just because of a stressful event that they may be going through at that point in time. So stress is an important factor as well.
You know, I want us to kind of dispel some of the myths. And Doc, can you also share, show that you know some myths surrounding some of these things? But I want you to address one specifically. Does using tampons cause you to bleed heavier?
No, using tampons doesn't cause you to bleed heavier. Remember, it's the lining of the womb that is shedding. So using any of this is a tampon. Using this instrument, that this tampon wouldn't cause you to bleed heavier because it's the lining of the womb is shedding. So if you're bleeding heavier, you need to get it checked out, because your lining of the womb shedding, you're bleeding too heavy, you need to find out the cause. Yeah.
Is it true that skipping periods is always unhealthy? If you miss a period, is it always something unhealthy, something untoward is happening?
So if you miss a period, it's not unhealthy, but you should not miss at least more than 3 periods. So you know, some people would be like, I don't get my period and I'm happy. I ain't seen my period since last year and I'm happy about that, because nobody really wants to go through that every month. But that's unhealthy, because remember, the lining of the womb is supposed to be shedding every month, and it's being there, thicken, not shedding. And this can increase your risk of what is called endometrial cancer, because like I said, sometimes the abnormal cells like to go and embed themselves up in the lining and progress to that. So at least you should have at least 3 or more periods for the year. Yeah. The other thing that I want to say is, if you are on a hormonal birth control, or you're taking the injection or something like that, what that does, it thins the lining of the womb and you may not see a period. So that in itself is not unhealthy, because the hormone is working to thin the lining of the womb. Some people may say, I don't want no injection because me ain't gonna see my period, but it's only because the mechanism of it is thinning the lining of the womb, and that's why you're not seeing a period. But if you're not on anything and you're not seeing a period, you need to get that checked out.
Finally, in this myths and misconceptions segment here, so is it that you're not supposed to do certain things on your period, right? Don't go to the beach, right? Don't go to the beach, and don't pick people plants. Don't go and harvest. I farm, Doc, and at a time I went by a relative. I wanted to harvest some stuff that they had, and they asked me plain and straight, "You on your cycle? Cause you know you can't harvest if you." You can't harvest if you're on your cycle, you damage the plant. So, Doc, can you swim? Can you pick plants?
No, well, you know, we live in a cultural, we have a lot of traditional beliefs and that kind of thing, but I am an advocate for doing your normal activities. So whatever you do normally, when you're on your menstrual cycle or having a period, yes, that should not stop you from doing that. So you like to swim, you like to exercise, go out, have a good time.
Pick plants,
farm, yeah. That should not affect, your period should not affect your quality of life. And if it is affecting your quality of life for whatever reason, may not be the heavy bleeding, but cramping, you have to say, okay, I can't pick plants this morning because when my period come, I'm in too much pain, then that is something that you need to get checked out.
I just have one last question, and it might be a controversial question, but it's warranted. What are some do's and don'ts during when you're facing a period? And is sexual intercourse one of those things that should be prohibited from a medical perspective, and so on, as it pertains to women and their menstrual cycle?
Okay, so do's and don'ts. So do's, like I said, you continue with your normal activity. One thing I want to note is that what women should do during each cycle, that they should note the length of the period, so how long it lasts. Most people have the apps on their phone, so that's really good. You should note the first day of your period, so when it started. So the first day of your period to the other first day of the next period, that will give you the cycle. You should note if you pass any clots at all, how many pads you use per day. So generally information about the cycle itself. So that's a do that you should do, continue along your normal activities. In terms of your controversial question, then I would say it is dependent on the person, but there isn't any don't about not having sex on your period. That is personal to the woman. Yeah.
And Doc, as we seek to wrap things up, why is it important for young people to talk openly about menstrual health?
So it is important that not just young persons, but women and men to have these conversations about menstrual health, because when women are empowered, they make healthier choices and they can live healthier, happier lives.
I have a last question. This is not controversial, but this is more humanitarian. You know that globally, there is a study that says that there are women who do not, there's period poverty in the world. What are you doing? What can we expect from you coming, to partner probably with organizations to kind of alleviate period poverty on the island, especially Tobago?
Okay, so that's a great question. On my social media pages, Instagram and TikTok, you will see in June I partnered with KIND's organization. That's an organization, Kids in Need of Direction. It's primarily based in Port of Spain in Laventille, Trinidad. And what they do is they do the period poverty drives, and we went to Signal Hill School and we gave out pads, always pads to the students. And this is something that I would like to continue throughout the island, because really and truly, I must confess, I myself didn't know period poverty. It was such a dire thing on the island. People literally, when you go to the store and you go to purchase one of these, it's so expensive, and then imagine children, the parents, single parents. Yeah, it's really a lot. So I did that on June 28th in collaboration with KIND organization and Signal Hill Secondary School, and the video is on my page, so you can go check it out. But the students, they all got a pack of always pads for that, and we plan to continue it throughout the island.
Doc, can you share the handles?
I say my
page.
My Instagram handle is I am Dr. Win, and my TikTok is Dr. Win OBGYN.
All
right. We want to say thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Winchester, we were speaking about uterine bleeding right here at Tobago Updates. We had a wonderful time. And Dwayne, after such a packed program, we just want to tell the viewers, you don't even need to move, because we have GMT coming up. GMT, Good Morning Tobago, that will be with Miss Chanel Felix, and you want to stay right here at Tobago Updates. So we are signing off, Dwayne and myself.
This just remember, this was Youth Wednesdays. This is Youth Wednesdays, and remember to
share the live, share the live, share the live.
Today we are proud to officially open the Roxbury Policy Club Computers Room, a space that represents growth, opportunity, and our commitment to empowering our community through education and technology.
Today's initiative that is once again being supported by the Digicel Foundation is indeed a record-breaking success. Not everybody can be able to buy a computer, and even though they buy a computer, some of them don't have internet. And there will be a space, a safe space, where they can come and do their homework and to be able to do their SBAs and to be able to ensure that they have a starting chance in life.
We often speak about Panyard model. A Panyard is not just where music is played, it's where discipline is learned, talent is shaped, teamwork is built, and young people is guided in a safe space and positive environment. This exactly is what Technology and Education Center represent. Just as a Panyard brings young people together around steel pan, this center brings them together around technology to learn, to explore, and to prepare for the future.
I am truly thrilled to be here with you as we celebrate the opening of another Technology in Education Center, the 4th Thai Center in Tobago. Through this program, we aim to bridge the digital divide by expanding access to technology and the internet in communities that need it most. And with the invaluable partnership of Tobago, we have been able to go a step further, embedding technology within Panyards.
Just to say to the young people and all the persons who will be accessing this facility, you need to show ownership of it. You need to take care of it. And I suppose that in the not too distant future, knowing Mr. Hazel and the Police Youth Club, they're going to expand on it when they look at how many persons are accessing it.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House Assembly.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we're stronger. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago.
And welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And guys, you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning interesting topics and conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio will co-chair a high-level session with CARICOM Chairman Dr. Terence Drew today, Wednesday, at the 50th Common CARICOM. Wednesday at the 50th CARICOM Regular Heads of Government meeting in St. Kitts. The State Department says the visit aims to strengthen regional security and energy ties. Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar, who led a delegation which included Foreign Minister Sean Tobago House of Assembly Chief Secretary Farley Augustine, has already secured a private bilateral meeting Rubio to discuss security cooperations and the Dragon gas deal. Additionally, a Trinidad and Tobago national has been sentenced to federal prison in the United States for smuggling over 200 arms and components from Florida to Trinidad and Tobago. Shem Wayne Alexander, 36, of Port of Spain, was handed a 4-year, 9-month sentence by the U.S. District Judge John L. In the Middle District of Florida. The investigation involved multiple U.S. Caribbean agencies and the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service with support from international officers. And finally, Tobago prepared for a catastrophic disruption in its food supply chain? Currently, the island imports over 80% of its food. Chief Secretary Fali Augustine says a study launched last year nearing its conclusion will determine if Tobago can survive 3 months without a single vessel arriving on the island. An overhaul of the island's industrial framework is also needed, targeting years of stagnation at the Cove Eco-Industrial Park. And that was our news in 90 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, we take a quick break right here and we'll be back with much more conversations after this. See you soon.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. It's who we are at the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. We're deepening our commitment to the region, continuing to invest in the networks, services, and digital solutions that move Caribbean businesses forward. Whether you are a mid-sized business or multinational player, we bring you resilient connectivity, personalized service, and tailored IT solutions, all powered by local teams that truly have your back. We're here to help you navigate challenges, grow, and achieve your goals with practical solutions, reliable networks, and a partnership rooted in trust and your long-term success. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
TL Promotion presents Laugh and Live this Good Friday, 7 p.m. It's non-stop laughter at Bertrude Legacy Park, Lowland. Special guest from Jamaica, Mr. Funny himself, Owen Blacker Ellis. From Trinidad, Rising Comics, Alan the Entertainer, and Son Son. And from Tobago, amateur comic, Bishop Terence Baines. Listen, this is a laughing matter. Get your tickets now at Den's Electronics, 2nd floor, Port Mall, Scarborough. An Island e-tickets or call 685-1988. At the door, you will pay more. It's gonna be a family affair. Laughter is good for the soul, whether you're young or you're old. So get your tickets now. You can't afford to miss it. Add some laughter to your Easter.
Coming up, fetes, pan, parades, soca. Yes, Carnival is in full swing. Artists from all over added their strokes to Antigua and Barbuda's canvas. A boost for these Barbadian projects through the power to make a difference. Equal servings of culture and good cheer. It's Caribbean Passport TV right here on this station.
You come in. Long time I see you. This station complete. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Steven to see about them. Yeah, total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about that. You just leave Jada to see about Kia and Kayla. I thought it was your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before your ramage, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning we continue our conversations and we are talking a bit about all that will be happening in Tobago for the Easter holiday. As you know, Tobago is always the place to be during Easter. And what is a Tobago Easter celebration without a car show? This morning, we have the privilege of chatting this morning with the promoter of Caribbean Auto Fete, Mr. Mark Superville. Good morning and welcome.
Hello.
Good morning and welcome. So tell our viewers a bit about this Caribbean Auto Fete and what makes it different from the usual car shows that we often see around Easter time here on the island.
Well, there's a lot of difference this year. For example, this year we actually tied into an event in St. Vincent. All right, so we have a few winners at the show that will be potentially going to St. Vincent in August for another show in August. So the guys and them, so the audio guys, the show guys, the drifters will be going to perform in August. That will be from August 20th to the 25th in St. Vincent. Right. And that event would also encompass and include Grenada, Barbados, and St. Lucia.
Okay, so this are you saying the winners of this event, the Caribbean Auto Fete, would be given the privilege of attending these other events throughout the region?
Yeah, well, St. Vincent specifically, so they're basically going to compete for the opportunity to go to St. Vincent for free.
Okay, and so this means free airfare, free transportation of their vehicle to St. Vincent and back.
Well,
and
what happened is that so we're doing they will be going for free. They're winning that opportunity, but we're going on a vessel. So we chartered a vessel, a boat, all right, that holds 300 people and 55 vehicles.
Wow, understood. And so outside of the guys from Tobago being able to qualify to go to St. Vincent to compete as well, who are the other players that will be a part of this trip to St. Vincent to represent Trinidad and Tobago? And what type of competitions do we see happening throughout the region that, you know, your platform is now giving opportunities for local Tobago drifters and car enthusiasts to be a part of?
Well, I mean, apart from the car community, we also have a challenge that we're going to be launching weekend coming here, where a crew of 3 people would be given the opportunity as well to go for free. So the public, we get the public involved. So it's a challenge, a social media challenge, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. All you would have to say, I mean, there would be the instructions. So a lucky group of 3, a crew, would also be given the opportunity to go to St. Vincent for free.
Understood. And persons always look forward to going to Tobago for Easter to show off their cars, even if they aren't competing in the car show. This particular competition is different because there is that regional aspect to it. What are you looking forward to most about this competition, and what do you think the guys should be having in mind in terms of what they should be bringing to this particular event?
Well, we're not half-stepping this year, so, you know, everybody kind of put in the best foot forward, all right? A lot of the vehicles actually down right now, people doing over the paint job, rims, you know how it is, interior, all right? Speakers, amp. So people looking forward, the car community and the public as well, looking forward to coming across Tobago for Easter, for sure. There's a lot of stuff that we have. As I said before, we have cash prizes for the drifting. The first prize is $10,000, the drift prize. The second prize is $5,000. The third is $2,500. All right? That is on the drifting side of it. All right? Well, you all know the venue, obviously, is Dwight York Stadium. That's the Mecca. We call it the Mecca of motorsport, Dwight York Stadium. All right? So visually, right now, you would be seeing the car park with one of the drifters there at the Dwight York Stadium. So, you know, we want everybody to come out and have fun, basically, you know.
Right.
So it's a lot. The kids are a main part of it. We have a 300-foot kids zone. 300 feet, just for the kids.
Right. And the Chief Secretary would have indicated that upon his, agenda for sport is motorsport, and identifying a particular location at the Friendship Estate in Tobago to, put a drifting track or a drifting circuit, just a course for the sport to thrive in Tobago. Do you feel like there is a community that would be willing to come to Tobago, not just from Trinidad, but from throughout the region, and really make that a wise investment?
Yeah, of course, for sure. Let me give you some information here, right? Barbados has been known for years to be one of the islands very heavy into motorsport. But Tobago right now, yeah, we're not as far behind, and the intention is to, as I said, to like the St. Vincent run, that's this year. But the intention is to also have the islands involved maybe within the next year, which would put us to maybe 2027, where we have people from the car enthusiasts from St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Barbados, Grenada, would be coming to Tobago next year, Easter 2027.
Excellent.
I mean, the only issue we have right now is sometimes we have little issues with the boat. We're not sure what's going on with that, but we're working it out. We don't worry too much.
But the issues with the boat is surrounding the cargo vessel, not the regular vessel that transports vehicles and passengers.
Well, sometimes a lot of the car community would bring the vehicle on flatbed. The flatbed can't go on the normal vessel; it would have to go on the cargo boat.
Understood.
So that's the only issue we have, because the most of these cars can't drive on the road.
Oh.
Yeah, so we put them on flatbed and we bring them across to Tobago. And that's a lot of vehicles, to be honest.
Understood. And as I said, I know that there's a huge community in Trinidad that looks looks forward to coming to Easter specifically to bring their vehicles, to relax, to be a part of the Easter celebration. But this is definitely something that persons prepare for all year round. What type of investments do you think is needed? You know, I indicated that the Chief Secretary has made his commitment to invest in motorsport on the island, you know, giving them that piece of property and to develop a motorsporting arena there. But what other investments do you think for young persons to get more excited about getting into the field of motorsports can be done?
Well, that is something that you'll probably have to sit down and discuss in detail. But there is, internationally, motorsport is huge. And one of the reasons it's huge is because it would include everyone. There is no demographic with motorsport, unlike, let's just say, maybe a fete or a party. So a lot of the people who would come to the event for Easter would be kids, from baby, go straight up to grandpa. You know, who would bring out the children, you know, a lot of our crowd are teenagers, all the schools. So that's why we have so many people at the event, right? But yes, things can be done to encourage other people from up the islands to come across. Make it very easy for them to come. That is, I guess, the main thing that some of these guys speak to me about. The difficulty in coming to Tobago. You know, so if these things could be amended, that would definitely encourage the business. If you notice from the video scene, you have the young ones with the bikes. Have a special prize for them this year as well. You know, so the young ones, treating them real good. And not only that, but apart from promoting the day itself, which is Easter Sunday, we normally have what they call the Caribbean Auto Fed weekend. All right? And that also includes a lot of stuff. So, for example, with your ticket for the event, you can go and get discounts from my Frankie, Cool Running, Waterholics, even
Yeah, I think all guests would.
Monkey. The event has value, right? Apart from that, we have the weekend, which will start from the Friday. So we have a pre-pump the Friday. So the Saturday as well, we have the pre-pump.
And I'm guessing the pre-pump is that event where most of the cars that persons would be able. I said I'm guessing that the pre-pump is that event where most of the cars that would be displayed on Sunday is usually there's in the Crown Point area.
Yeah, so we will be by Jade Monkey Bar and the car park by the casino, on the side of the casino there. The Friday we by Chill Out, and the Saturday, the show is the Sunday, and Pigeon Point is the Monday.
Right, so persons can get to kind of see a taste of what they will get from that car show that is happening on the Sunday.
Yeah, for sure. So you can come out and bring out the kids, see, just get it. I mean, not all the vehicles will be out, but we will be bringing out X amount of vehicles to the public to view.
Understood. And where can persons get tickets for this event?
Well, all the information is online, but off the top of my head right now, you can get tickets by Cachet. We have Cachet, we have Johnny Q, we have Adish Air Conditioning, that's on the main stretch there in Bon Accord. And we have also Jade Monkey Casino. The tickets available.
Excellent. And finally, as we wrap up our conversation this morning, why is it important for persons to come out and support and be a part of this particular Caribbean Auto Fed?
Well, we have been around for a few years. And, you know, we're just trying to go a little further. All right. As I said, some lucky crew going to be winning the opportunity to go to St. Vincent for free. And that would include accommodation, and if you can drive, a vehicle to drive for the 4 days that we will be in St. Vincent for that 2-day show.
Understood. Excellent. And this is exciting stuff. And as you said, if you do purchase your ticket to come to the car show, persons are being given access to discounts at a number of your partners. And so you want to remind us of some of those partners?
Cool Runnings, right? And Frankie, Toz, Waterholics.
All right. Well, again, we want to thank you so much for being here this morning, and we look forward to the 2026 iteration of the Caribbean Auto Fete that's happening on Easter Sunday at the Dwight York Stadium as per usual. You don't want to miss it. The highest quality is going to be displayed here. And again, it's interesting because there's that opportunity for the cruise to be able to win that free trip to St. Vincent to demonstrate all that you have to offer. Ladies and gentlemen, we take a quick break right here and we'll be back after this with much more conversations. See you soon.
Hey, as you come in. Long time I see you. This station complete. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Steven to see about them. Yes, total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about that. You just leave Jada to see about Kia and Kayla. I thought it was your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before you ramage, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Who said the elderly can't have fun too? We're talking good food, proper music, lots of games, and a day at the beach they will never forget. From the time we left the compound at Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly, the vibe was already established. Wheels up and seatbelts on. Watch now, when we touched down in Pigeon Point, everybody was ready for excitement. But before anything could take place, we had to secure bellies. You ever play bingo by the beachside? Well, that was the first activity on the roster, and boy did these seniors have fun. However, others wanted something more physical, so we brought out the ring toss, and not even arthritis could have stopped them. Well, I was blown away at how straight these people were. Are you sure this is a home for the elderly? Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday, but nothing beats the song of Good Steel Pan by the shores while we take a dip in Tobago's finest water. Wait, more food again? This is my type of event. The energy was amazing and nothing short of a blessing. Pick up Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly, because joy doesn't retire, laughter doesn't age, and memories like these last forever.
To a stranger, this is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. To them once again, they better look out below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look out below, 'cause this is your show. Live more.
Hair goals, we've got them. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy, for queens who know exactly what they want.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49SWIFT 4979438.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
It's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor, so wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. This morning we're going to continue with a number of conversations. Before we do that, we want to know, have you been paying attention to the CARICOM Heads of Government meetings that took place yesterday and today as well? A number of persons would have made their presentation yesterday, including our Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar. Were you able to take a look at that presentation and listen to her contribution? Now, I had the opportunity to listen to her contributions, and well, let's just say the Prime Minister stood 10 toes down on comments that she had previously made about CARICOM. However, she indicated that in theory, Trinidad and Tobago does support the move and the agenda of CARICOM to have free movement between the region and its countries. However, she indicated that Trinidad and Tobago for a while has had an issue with migrant populations living here that has had a heavy or puts a heavy burden on Trinidad and Tobago's economy. But so the question lies, when the Prime Minister said we support in theory, but possibly not in practice, where does that leave us in regards to our relationship with our other CARICOM partners? And you know, we also heard the Prime Minister go on to talk about the fact that there is that new children's hospital that's going to be opened in Cuba, and she talked about the South Debe campus of the University of the West Indies, and encouraging other CARICOM member states to send their students to Trinidad and Tobago to study at the university in Trinidad and Tobago. But then the question lies, if the Prime Minister stands on stage and says we cannot facilitate the free and flow movement at this point in time because of, you know, that the migrant population from Venezuela has played, how would that go over with other CARICOM leads when she follows that up by saying, but you can send your students to us, but your other members of your population, maybe we can hold out on that for now, but your students, you can send them. I would like to hear from you. What are some of your thoughts on the contributions that were made by the Prime Minister? She also went on to thank President Donald Trump as well as Minister Marco Rubio for their contributions to Trinidad and Tobago and security during those geopolitical tensions that we had very recently between the US and Venezuela. She spoke about the fact that two main countries were threatened threatened by Venezuela, being Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago. And she was looking forward to receiving support during those threats, but that level of support was there. She harped on the fact that sovereignty is important in all countries, but particularly as it pertains to countries' ability and freedom to make particular decisions as it pertains to their national security. And it is the role of CARICOM to support those decisions, whether in agreement or not. And she went on to discuss quite a number of things, but basically stating that Trinidad and Tobago is a sovereign country and they have the right to make decisions for national security that benefits Trinidad and Tobago. She even went on to speak about how the crime rate since the intervention of the United States had been significantly reduced for Trinidad and Tobago. What are some of your thoughts on this? We are opening the comment section for you to give your feedback, and our phone lines are also always open to receive your calls, and we are always open to have those discussions with you. If you didn't have the opportunity to listen to that presentation, the presentation is available via YouTube, so you can go ahead and listen to that. The statements that came from the Prime Minister were quite hard-hitting but very diplomatic in my opinion. I would like to be able to follow up tomorrow with a number of persons, maybe in the international relations space, in the political and economic space, to have some commentary and some discussions on that particular contributions, possibly after a number of other presentations are made today. Another person that would have made contributions similar to the contributions of the Prime Minister was the Honorable Prime Minister Andrew Holness from Jamaica, stating that Jamaica also has experienced similar, high crime rates, and that all countries have that sovereign right to do what needs to be done for their country as it pertains to national security. And this does not weaken the fundamental structures of the CARICOM, but it makes it more diverse when there are variable approaches to solving problems that each country can look to as an example for frameworks to adjust the approaches that they are using to try to have a more effective means of solving their individual problems. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back with much more conversations tomorrow. I hope to have much more conversations, particularly on this topic of the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting, touching a bit on the appearance of our Chief Secretary, Farley Augustine, who played a huge role in the introduction of our Prime Minister. She made sure to introduce him to the CARICOM Heads of State, and he was truly highlighted for his first attendance, and the first attendance of its kind for any Tobago Chief Secretary to be at that CARICOM Heads of Government meeting taking place in St. Vincent. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a quick break right here, and we'll be back after this. See you soon.
TL Promotion presents Laugh and Live this Good Friday, 7 p.m. It's non-stop laughter at Birchwood Legacy Park, Lowlands. Special guest from Jamaica, Mr. Funny himself, Owen Blacker Ellis. From Trinidad, Rising Comics, Alan the Entertainer, and Son. And from Tobago, amateur comic, Bishop Terence Baines. Listen, this is a laughing matter. Get your tickets now at Den's Electronics, 2nd floor, Port Mall, Scarborough. And Island e-tickets, or call 685-1988. At the door, you will pay more. It's gonna be a family affair. Laughter is good for the soul, whether you're young or you're old. So get your tickets now. You can't afford to miss it. Add some laughter to your Easter.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You could complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity with your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Good morning, and welcome back. Good morning, Tobago, right here on Tobago Updates. Ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap up our show this morning, we are chatting briefly about cricket on the island. And to have that conversation with me this morning, I'm chatting with Coach Leandro Jack, who is also the event promoter for the Breakout. Good morning and welcome.
Top of the morning, love.
Right, so we're talking about the Breakout, the rise of the champions. This is the cricket tournament that's happening here in Tobago. Tell us a bit about that.
The name of the tournament is actually CCL, Central Cricket League. Every year we choose to have a different team. It's the Breakout this year because of the involvement of the conference of SD in Tobago this year. So the tournament actually got bigger. So this year we call it the Breakout because it actually expanded in our way. So.
Understood. And this particular one is focused on the Central District.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about who is included in the Central District. And for the persons who don't know, this is being held by the Adventist Church, and it includes a number of denominations who will be a part of this particular tournament in the Central District.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about who is included in this central district demographic?
All right, the churches that are taking part are Good News Kings, Scarborough Gideon Knights, who are the defending champions. They won the tournament last year. The Lambo Legends, Mackey Hill, TBS, and we involve USC, the university.
Right.
We involve USC into our tournaments every year. What happens is each team comprised of 15 players, 10 playing, and we choose to have members from the community and different denominations as a part of the tournament involved in the team, just to promote more unity and camaraderie amongst us as Tobagonians in the community.
Excellent. And tell us a bit about where the tournament would be happening and what time.
Tournament will be happening right behind there by Jubilee Park. I'm not sure if you know where Jubilee Park is, St. Cecil.
Okay.
Yeah, the court, the hard court.
Right.
St. Cecil, the hard court is a court
Right,
cricket
also
tournament.
behind the Division of Education.
Yes.
And behind the Division of Tourism as well.
Easier directions.
Right.
And the tournament, each game starts at 8 p.m. But we like to reach for 7:30 so that things could be organized more, Could have a nice flow now. But it's a 10-over tournament. Quick tournament. It have a lot of fun stipulations and things to entertain the crowd, to keep it more engaging with the community.
Okay, and what date would this be happening on?
It starts on the 7th of March 2026. That's next week, I believe.
All right, so there are multiple days that the tournament is going to be taking place for?
Yes, ma'am, it runs for a month. Two games a night. It runs for more or less 4 to 5 weeks. We have a group stage, and after the group stage, whichever team finishes on top, they go straight to the finals. And second and third has to play against each other to know who would then proceed to the finals.
Understood. And so tell us a bit about some of the prizes that will be given for this. And, you already told me who would be included. So clearly it's too late for new persons to register.
At the time. Registration finishes at this Thursday, tomorrow.
Okay, so persons are still able to register between now and tomorrow.
Between now and tomorrow, if they're swift enough.
Excellent. Give us a roundup, a recap of the overall event that's happening, hosted by the Adventist Church, including a number of other denominations that are being a part of this breakout championship.
Well, roundup, we started about 2 years ago. First champions was Good News Kings, which, I had to rep them still. Last year, we were dethroned by Scarborough Gideon Knights. That's a rivalry that has been brewing from ever since. And I think the rivalry would continue.
Right.
They say it is set to be a bit bigger because of the involvement of the Conference of SD and Tobago, which is, for those who don't understand it, it's like the government of the Adventists.
Right.
They got involved this year, and they are making the tournament a bit bigger, where in each district in Tobago, they will have their own tournament, and then the champions of each district would then play for the zonal championships. And after the zonal championship, we'll have a island-wide tournament, championships amongst the champions of each zone, to know who would be the champions of Tobago.
Right.
I personally am trying to let it reach as far as playing, after I reach the champions of Tobago, to carry it to Trinidad, and to place a couple of teams from Trinidad and other denominations, so that we can continue encouraging unity and togetherness amongst Christians and amongst the Trinbagonians of this country.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank you so much for being here this morning and telling us all about the cricket tournament that's happening starting on March the 7th at 8 p.m. You want to gather at 7 p.m. at the Jubilee Park in St. Cecil, and persons can still register all up to tomorrow. And there are numbers that are on the flyer. You can call 393-9820 or 766-5822 to get in contact with the team of organizers and still register. Remember, you have up until tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussions. We want to thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Chanel Felix, and have a great day.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawn. morning as the passion start to rise. The energy